Hello and welcome to the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast of the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert. Remember when MTV's Yo Mama was a thing? Pepperidge Farm remembers. And with me, I have...
Why are you sleeping on Rivers of Nile, Melon? Come on!
And...
Hey, I just put in water for the first time. It's just carbonated water. You just squeeze some fruit in it. It's like, okay. I mean, these are about because the shit was kind of cheap and the store was going to business because they had the going out for sale. Like, oh, this is dirt cheap. I can get this shit.
But I guess it doesn't have much of an appeal.
No, not much. I mean, do rich people buy this shit, or do they claim it's good, or I don't know. Like, I think it's probably all water.
It's probably all the LaCroix dorks who are buying it. Or LaCroix, however it's pronounced. But none of that matters because we're apparently a week away from Baja Blast coming back to stores.
Yeah!
Ooh!
Boy.
Yeah. Nice! So that means you're breaking my job just to steal some.
Oh no, I'll still break into your job anyway. I mean, you still have chalupas there.
Well, damn.
Well, look, if you didn't want me to go there, then why does Taco Bell make their chalupas taste so good? They're like my favorite thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, got that to look forward to in a week from now. Along with Record Store Day 2018 on Saturday. What's the matter, no money?
I have to work on Saturday.
Oh, damn.
Right when the record store opens at 9 a.m.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so my odds of getting some good stuff like that Run the Jewels set and Stephen Wilson EP, slim to none, but I'm going to try anyway.
I'll keep an eye out for you. I got your back. Anyway, so episode 77. How are all y'all doing?
Good, but what's with the weather? And I'm not saying that in like a welcome to night wheel sense. I mean, what is up with the weather? It is wild and wacky. A couple days ago, it was like 85 degrees. Now it's like November. It's going to be like 35 degrees tomorrow morning. And there's all the snow going on everywhere. Like, what gives? I don't get it. I don't like it.
Well, it'd be crazy, yo.
Yeah, the weather is borked.
I'm telling you, it's the weather machines.
But my computer sits aside. Doing all right. Getting some time off from work, thankfully, because I've needed some days off. I went ahead and picked up my copy of the Metallica Garage Days revisited re-release. That's a lot of re's in there.
That's more re's than your typical anime season. Heyo.
On a vinyl and in a long box CD because, kids, CDs used to come in these really big long boxes back in the day. Back when people still bought CDs.
Yeah, but people ain't buying much of anything in, some places. So we've heard.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, what about you, Mark?
Well, something that was like we had to get a new dryer because our old one clunked out on us. Which that cost a lot of money. I also will say that in more news, like we switched from TV to Dish for some reason, and I say this, hey, I got DVR back, meaning I actually tape shows, record shows like tonight because I always miss that shit when I'm either got to sleep or work Sunday morning. So yeah, that's some good news for me.
Hooray! Now you can catch all the weird music videos. And then
that's right.
Tweet them with us. At a later time, of course, so it's not technically live tweeting, but still, you understand the point.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got to record Black Clover or Naruto.
Oh no, this time it was during JoJo.
Oh, okay then.
Wild, ain't it? Mixing things up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as for me, Well, I mean, I did play like a small show last week. It was kind of like in the back of like this small bar in downtown. It was an okay time, you know. Only thing that sucked was that it was like on a Wednesday night. And then the morning after I had like a quick quiz in one of my classes, and still, having to do it on like a little bit of sleep, and you're all drained and smelling like booze and cigarettes. It's Also, got back out to the movies. I saw both A Quiet Place and Isle of Dogs. First off, A Quiet Place is very much worth the hype. It is indeed very well constructed, and who would have thought one of the dipshits from The Office would make one of the most interesting horror movies of the decade? As for Isle of Dogs, I wanted to like it more than I did. Like, the movie is a very, like, fantastically animated and, like, designed piece. And, all the, obviously, like, the dogs, the way they talk with each other is that usual Wes Anderson, style, and, I'm kind of into that, but, there's just something really weird about, like, all the Japanese stuff in there, like, the way it tries to keep you distant from, like, all the Japanese characters, even, like, the Atari, the lead, like, Japanese boy, who's technically the good guy, is, like, he's always kept at, like, a weird distance from you, because I guess you're supposed to empathize with the dogs more, and they're all speaking English, but it's like, we're already going to empathize with them anyway, because they're good boys and they're speaking English, so it's like, why are you, like, barely subtitling things, or, like, using English translators? Also, this is a minor spoiler and nitpick, but part of the plot resolution involves a haiku, which I'm absolutely confident is fucking, like, not the exact syllable count needed for a haiku. Trust me, I've watched enough Jax Films videos to know my haikus.
So, let's ask this question about the movie playing everyone's favorite game. Is it racist?
I mean, it's not... Look, it's Wes... The thing you need to understand is that Wes Anderson is the whitest man. Like, the whitest person. So it's like, there's kind of no other way it could go out but to be, like, a little bit... I don't know, I mean, I still enjoyed the movie overall, but yeah, it just felt like a weird creative decision to me. Also, they really do try to kill the dogs with poison wasabi gas. So, take that into consideration. Was there anything else? Nope, nothing else really, so... With all that out of the way, let us move on to the new song discussions from this past week. Of course, there will be a link down in the description, so you can follow along, find maybe songs that you like, songs you dislike, so that way you can listen to them all, and then argue with us over them. Even though we're probably not going to listen anyway. Ha ha ha. So, let's open up with, since we're on the topic of movies a bit, have you heard there's this movie called Rampage that's out? Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and a bunch of giant CG monster animal things. Apparently it's supposed to be actually, like, kind of entertaining and the best video game movie since the first Silent Hill. Which admittedly isn't a high bar to clear, but still, it's worth something. Well, apparently the movie soundtrack gave us this little gem from Mr. Goose Egg 0 out of 10 speeding to bullet heaven himself, Kid Cudi. Yes, apparently he did, like, the ending credits theme for the movie called The Rage. Get it? Rage. Rampage. There's actually another joke in there with that song title, and you will hear it right now. So, this song is just, like, some annoying, like, kind of really low-key, moody, usual end credits ballad thing, but the song is primarily built off of the melodic structure and lyrical and vocal samples of the Smashing Pumpkins classic Bullets with Butterfly Wings. The entire song is driven by this low-key piano beat that's literally just the guitar riff transposed to piano. That same melody and everything. And then, of course, it continues through to the chorus, which literally just samples the "Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage" from Billy himself. I mean, they even just straight up take, like, the guitar outro from the original song and grabbed it as the outro to this song. And it's like, wow, this makes me want to listen to Speedin' Bullet to Heaven even less.
Lazy.
Lazy. That's about it.
It's a it's a song from a movie that got decent to mixed reviews, and it's there.
Clearly, it's no Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, which was Sony's highest-grossing movie ever, which is kind of sad when you think about it that way, because they had friggin' Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was okay. Not anywhere near the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, but that's just me, the Spider-Man nerd here. But anyway, moving on from that to something that isn't lazy, Arca, who definitely had a very busy 2017 with, his solo self-titled album and producing Bjork's Utopia. And he comes back with a little, well, maybe not little, it's a 10 to 11 minute long track called Fetiche. And first off, what's with this video?
Yeah, I'm looking like there's somebody just stuck on I'm guessing some flowers, and I don't know what's that goo. I don't know what's that. I'm guessing that's I don't think it's water. It's some fucking goo, and she gets stuck on and smashing it. And while that's happening, you hear this, this weird ass, mostly weird ass sounds you hear from Arca, which having listened to his first album, like, this is like. For what I heard from that track, like, this is definitely, there's some ass scratching shit here.
It's like a Death Grips video. And yeah, this takes some trips, from hazy, dreamy piano riffs with some punchy industrial distortion, glitchy off-kilter, chopped and screwed vocal samples that kind of sound like the dialogue in Banjo and Kazooie. There's like lots of noise, cranked up bass distortions with wild thumping rhythms, the filtered voice of women laughing and cackling. At some point there's a bit of a proper drum beat and it gets a bit of a dance vibe. Things get even more hazy and, almost kind of like a dark ambient igloo ghost. And then, have you mentioned there's lots of chopped and screwed vocal samples in there? Because they're all there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting diversion away from all the more lush, beautiful production that he was spending his 2017 doing, so interesting. And now moving on to the next song here. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is actually a release of a song that is technically coming out on a Record Store Day as a proper physical release. I believe that's what I read here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, our dear old Florence and the Machine, who I'm assuming is taking a break from having done the music and stuff for Final Fantasy 15. Isn't that a weird thing that happened? Yeah, really. With her Record Store Day 2018 release, Sky Full of Song. And as with recent Florence and the Machine, it's basically, I guess, a more indie version of Adele, so to speak. The beat plays pretty loose and minimal with the, composition stripped back to like its bare essentials. So there's just enough of a beat there, but it's not so saturated that Florence's vocals like don't shine through. I mean, she does give a good performance here. There's plenty of emotional lyrics, and she gives the power when necessary. But I don't know, man. Like, this just feels like a B-side essentially, which I guess is why it's a Record Store Day release.
Mm-hmm. I tried to give this a listen. I just couldn't really get all that deep into it. I've just never been a big fan of Florence and the Machine, like, ever. And I never really felt anything for those covers they did for Final Fantasy 15 either, so, shrug emoji. That's all I have to say.
I prefer her older stuff. Hey, I finally get to use that line in a podcast. My hipster cred is now complete. So anyway, for, of course, the next song, we're throwing it over to Mark, so go right on ahead.
All right. So yeah, Gangsta Gibbs, Freddie gets us back with another single track. This time got some guests of one familiar face rapper we heard of. Remember G Perico?
Yes.
Ed Mozzy. You wonder who the fuck is he? He was on that Black Panther soundtrack. But anyway, the song they got here today is called Colors. And I gotta say, like, okay, what song's about? Yeah, how like you heard about, the gang life, all about colors, like what colors you were wearing in the gang. Isn't like, if you were red, you're cool with the blood. You were blue, cool with a crib. And if you wear the wrong color, wrong here, yeah, it's all about, what growing up in that style is like. which I get, thinking that way, yeah, it does, does go what I said. Anyway, this shit goes hard. Well, because all the sound of this whole 90s gangster rap sound, especially with that saxophone, which it fucking kills it. This is one sax that sounds so damn amazing. This shit sounds good. This shit sounds great, and I gotta give credit to the producers, the League of Stars. Yes, for the production. This shit sounds great.
I liked it. Yeah, I don't really have much to add. Pretty much summed it all there pretty succinctly, I say.
Yep.
Now let's move on to the next song here. Oh hey, look who's back! It's Nicki Minaj. Been wondering what she's been up to.
Oh wow! And 1 week after, you know who dropped their album out.
Things are happening, and then announced his new album, but we won't get into that. So yes, Miss Nicki has released 2 brand new songs this past week. One called Chun-Li and the other called Barbie Tingz, which is apparently, the former at least, prompted questions like, who is the Chun-Li that Nicki Minaj is referring to?
Okay.
Let's
Who
write
at
an
Billboard
article about it.
said that? Who at Billboard wrote that, thinking they would be so insightful with their think piece? Like, come on. People know who Chun-Li is. Normies know who Chun-Li is. You don't need to ask that question. God.
Everybody in the grandpa know who Chun-Li is.
I mean, look, if rap people know who Goku is and know what Dragon Ball Z is, they probably know Street Fighter. Just saying.
Oh yeah, they do.
But yeah, so for the first of these tracks, Chun-Li. By the way, what is with this video with like the iPhone vertical view thing? That's weird.
Oh, that's annoying to me.
By the way, speaking of which, apparently with some videos you can watch it in like portrait view on YouTube. Like it'll full screen to that instead of going widescreen. I know because that's how they did the Death Grips Year of the Snitch track list announcement. Hell yeah! Oh wait, I forgot we're supposed to be talking about Nicki Minaj. Fuck. Sorry, I just hyped for the Year of the Snitch. But anyway, yeah, it's just the usual like. The beat has these minimal tweeting synths. There's these occasional blurts of saxophone with Nicki, bragging that she's awesome, filming herself in latex, which... Sorry, what were we talking about? Right, back to the song. I'm not sure I really get most of the lines here, like, call me 2 Chainz, name go ding dong.
What?
Some kind of, like, King Kong shit that she repeats incessantly. They need rappers like me so they can get on their keyboards and make me the bad guy Chun-Li, which, okay, I may not have been on the Street Fighter train a lot recently, but did Chun-Li become a bad guy or something? I always distinctly remember her being one of the good guys in Street Fighter canon.
Yeah, that's what I remember. She's usually the good guy, even in those 2 shitty movies.
Yeah. Anyway, as for Barbie Tingz, I guess I technically like it a bit better just because there's some mildly funnier lines in there, like the opening line, I'm in my prime, Optimus, or still on that show, getting no chips, time to dip. I'm still fly, just bagged a white guy, which I didn't know rappers reference The Offspring. That's news to me. And then, of course, there's that weird tangent where she's just saying bitch a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, she repeats bitch more often than the entire run of Breaking Bad.
I know. Yeah, I know. I count the words up until she said bitch. Like they almost count. Like they're like the middle of that shit.
Is it at least as many times as Ray Shremmerd said, take her to Chanel because she fine?
Oh.
I think these 2 songs would have had more of an impact if Beyonce didn't just steal the show at Coachella on Saturday night, which, can we talk about that for a moment? Holy hell, what a performance that was.
Well, I mean, you can. I didn't watch it. And apparently Coachella, according to you, does not archive their performances, so I can't watch stuff like that. Or Brockhampton!
You have to, scroll through the live feed. But I'm asking Beyonce's performance. It was excellent. All hail the queen bee. Let's just do Beachella from now on. Every year. Forever and a day. It really was that good. Like, oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah, anyway, back on topic. You know, even though Barbie Tingz technically has some okay lines in there, I feel like I'm officially at the point where I could say that even at her best, Nicki Minaj just has no resonance with me. Like, just nothing, really. I feel nothing towards these songs.
Yeah, I barely feel like this song. Even with that one line on Barbie Tingz where Nicki went to say, I talk about how Jay-Z still the kingpin, even though she's still like, I would have signed with him, but I'm stuck with my lord with Wayne and the rest of the motherfuckers are Young Money, or what's left of Young Money. I mean,
whatever happened to that anyway? Wasn't Limp Bizkit signed to Young Money at one point?
What? No.
Fred Durst was.
What's the difference?
The difference is Limp Bizkit has actually good musicians. Fred Durst is just, an asshole.
All I remember is I remember Busta Rhymes being signed like Young Money once. I think he left.
Good for him.
Yeah, he left. Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to stuff that's probably more interesting. Got yet another Janelle Monae single from her upcoming April 27th release, Dirty Computer, and sadly we're only talking about the one. I know she dropped another one earlier today, but we can't keep up with all this stuff. We're only 3 guys. But so yeah, this one's a track called Pynk, spelled with a Y, and it even features Grimes on it, which is interesting. This is one of those ones with 2 different moods. The verses have this light synth melody with a basic snapping rhythm to play off against Janelle's light, airy performances. Yeah. But then once you get to the chorus where there are more of these bursts of pop R&B guitars and shit and everything, that's when her performances get more, boisterous and out there. Also, there's a lot of Pynk in the music video.
Pynk. A lot of fucking Pynk. And I will say I do kind of dig. I'm fairly okay with the with the very minimalist sound she's going for, because with the snaps and all that shit. I will say this is a good track. I will say I like the last. Well, I like the Django Jane. Django Jane better than this, but it's still a decent track.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to see, where the rest of the album takes it. If I get a chance to hear that new song at some point this week. But anyway, moving on from that, now is a Adult Swim Gauntlet. We got 2 Adult Swim singles to talk about, but before that, we're going to catch up with some previous veterans of the singles program and see what they've been up to now. So first up, Jenny Hval, whose last studio album, I believe, was 2 years ago, sometime during 2016, I think. And she has already a new release, a new EP called The Long Sleep, coming out May 25th. And so we have the first song from that EP, one of the 4 tracks from it, Spells. It opens with this very reverberating, swelling synth pattern with some light inclusion of jazz saxophones, before the rest of the band kicks in. That is basically what the song sort of continues on, drums, piano, her vocals ranging from very whimsical and quirky to, soft and airy. It's definitely one of the quirkier songs in her catalog, mainly because of all that sax and the weird melodies it plays, which kind of contrasts some of the, I guess, moodier tangents that her Blood Bitch record went on. I might give this EP a listen once it comes out.
Okay, I ain't got much to say here. Is that this track, I kind of dig the vibe of this track. I do like the the sophisticated pop groove it gives, and of course that sax. There's a lot of shit with sax. The sax strings, all that shit. I'm just I'm feeling up for the sax today.
Oh, there will be sax, but we'll get to that in due time. So now moving on from that to a veteran of the 2015 Adult Swim Singles program, Cherry Glazerr, who dropped a new song, just, independent of nothing really. I mean, their last album, Apocalypse, they came out 1 or 2 years ago, so they probably don't have an album set up anytime soon, unless they can just, work that quickly. So this song is called Juicy Socks, and compared to some of the lighter ambient indie stuff of like their first record or so. This one kind of continues on that apocalyptic direction of like more, I guess you could say, alternative rock. Like there's definitely more of like an attempt to evoke sort of like a grunge-esque kind of atmosphere, just, paired up against like indie rock trappings, like, the off-kilter soothing but kind of unnerving vocal performances, and the weird quirky lyricisms, but it still has like that grunge, like the chorus effect, I believe it is, that they throw on like the guitars for like the chords and the melodies and stuff and everything. It definitely has like that moody vibe to it. I can kind of jam with this.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a bit of a blend of punk, pop, and 70s rock with this, infused with all the sort of Indian grunge stylings in here. So that might be the video, which is trippy. Trippy in a good way. Looks like just a fantastic coke and stripper party.
Can I be partying in that limo with them? I promise I'll bring my own purge mask.
Why are they making another movie?
Well, I mean, from what I've heard, they have gotten better.
But I mean, they weren't good to begin with, so, 0.5 is still below 1.
Hey, you never know. Movies. I mean, I haven't seen the second or third ones. I just wasted my time on the first one, so second and third could be good. Who knows?
It's the same thing. Never mind.
Well, I mean, do we know that? I mean, at least the second and third ones look like they actually got political and, exploited the actual premise for something. But whatever, that's going on a tangent. So now, let's get to the actual Adult Swim singles from this past week. And of course, Mark will take care of this first one, so take it away.
Yes. So Knxwledge has been doing a lot of things. Well, some things like of course 2 years ago he released that joint with Anderson .Paak 2 years ago, and that a new track on this on those singles called Relapse, featuring Traffic. And the thing is, it's actually part of an EP he released called Glad We Met, which is basically it's 5 tracks, all those actually 9 minutes, because it's like that song and 4 instrumentals that are 5 instrumentals that are like minimum anyway. So listen to this track 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. Okay, fuck it, I love this song. Like, so like fun start of that very of the very 90s sounding beat you get from Knxwledge, and the rap from Traffic, which he goes like, "Look, I can't relax. No, I can't go back. If I do somebody get laid the fuck back." Like, I feel like it's that part where he's like that part where we Chuck stay alive, because it's like he's talking about somebody trying to get him down, and that beat just fucking nails. I never like this. This is the one, like, out of all of those singles list, I mean, at least the whole period. Like, I never felt this way before on a track to say this. I like this as much as I like the Ghostman track a few months back. Damn, it's been that long. Yeah. Shit, that's good. I'm not gonna spoil it, but shit, let's just say I fucking love this. I really do.
They probably could have gotten away with just making this an instrumental, because this is indeed like a damn good vibe, like hip hop vibe track.
Oh fuck it is. But like I said, I did the verse from Traffic. Like, I do appreciate that there was some at least it was like near the end. But hey, I still love this track.
And while we're on the topic of vibe tracks, now it's time for me and Alex to jump in here for this next Adult Swim single, which of course comes courtesy of doom metalers Pallbearer, still writing pretty decently high off the hype of 2017's Heartless, and they've got a new little 5-minute slow burner called Dropout, which, again, Pallbearer, the drill by now. It's that same kind of very steady, kind of a mid-tempo, sludgy, massive low-end guitars, that little squealing guitar melody over the top that adds like that depressive, moody vibe to everything. It's very steadily paced, There's kind of this menacing part near the back half of the song, like the back 2 minutes or so, where like the chord progression switches to something more ominous, and there is that solo on top of it. So it is that kind of dichotomy between like the sort of like melancholic numbingness sort of like happy sad vibe of the opening, and then like the more conventional doom stuff in the back half.
Mm-hmm. This song sounds a bit more shoegazy than what I'm used to hearing from them, but it's a good thing. It's still solid with a great groove to it. It's awesome stuff. I am ready for more Pallbearer because, man, that last album was just, oh, so good.
Indeed it is. Now let's move on to the 3 biggest songs of the past week and 2 of them are from the same artist. So first off, let's get jazzy. You like jazz?
Oh, I like jazz.
Alright, so we got a little bit of a big one here. So, a name that might be familiar to some of you listening to this is Kamasi Washington, who, has been in the game for quite a bit, made a pretty big splash with his 3-hour-long triple album in 2015, The Epic, and in the meantime has, made quite a name for himself collaborating with various artists in the hip-hop genre. He's worked with guys like Kendrick Lamar, and of course he did the sax on Thursday in the Danger Room from RTJ3, which we all know very well.
Yeah.
And now Kamasi has announced his latest solo musical project, a double album called Heaven and Earth, coming out June 22nd. And to get us all in the mood for it, he shared the opening tracks from both of these discs. The first of these is a track called The Space Traveler's Lullaby. Now, I'm new to Kamasi's solo music, so you'll have to forgive me if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not super knowledgeable about jazz. Sorry, like in terms of like history of theory or anything. But, this is definitely like one that sounds like a heaven or space, so to speak. It opens with a minute of like these very lush kind of, I almost want to say mezzo piano string orchestration. There's the saxophone obviously kicking in like after a minute or so. As the song sort of picks up a bit more instrumentation, there's a touch of a swing jazz vibe in there, but it's still, everything is trying to maintain like a sort of spacey atmosphere, especially with like the operatic vocals that are just grand and sweeping, and it even reaches a peak in the middle with the saxophone melody, pretty like a mezzo kind of dynamic. The overall tempo, like somewhere in the middle, is kind of like this floaty triplet 4/4 vibe. There's some fast piano runs sort of in the back half, but they're still kind of buried at like, well, a piano dynamic. Well, there's got to be a less clunky way of saying that. But then like, the saxophone is still sort of playing through there. It kind of like moves in and out, but you can kind of always notice it at the same time. It does really well at conveying the lullaby and space aesthetic while still having like that sweeping like operatic grandiosity, I suppose.
Okay, for space, Travis Lullaby, this is something I should wake up to every morning. It's like this sounds like the perfect way to wake up. Like, why is it with this way? Like this is like some like film score level shit that I'm hearing from him, and maybe I know a little bit of him. Like I listened to part of that epic, part of that last time he did. Even though, oh yeah, that's why it's 3. Oh shit, it's 3 hours. Like I should get on that hopefully soon. I make time with it, but yeah. And for Fist of Fury, all right. I actually give with this one, and this one like this is one of those like. I think maybe there was one of those traditional African fighting music.
Well, this one definitely plays like Fist of Fury, for the record, opening of the Earth half is more of like it comes right out of the gate with like these sharp staccato horn rhythms, this kind of busy percussion section, which definitely includes like at points like a lot of like I guess bongos or congas, whichever one. I'm not good at differentiating. And like the percussion is more active in this one. It's more pronounced. Like it's more of like a big band piece more than anything else. Like, just a nice classy time out at like, I guess a bar or whatever in like the 1930s where you can just hear some nice music from a bunch of people playing. You're living the high life with your monocles and your fancy hats. there's almost even like a bit of an espionage vibe in places, especially with like those like jazz fusion guitars that kind of get sprinkled in at points, and those more like lyrical vocal styles that definitely fit in more with like the era. And it serves as a nice like, earthly busy counterpoint to like the more ethereal qualities of Space Travelers. So we're already getting like a dichotomy in place, so we shall see. I'm intrigued. I'll have to keep an eye out for this, and however long it is, possibly, I don't know.
This one's like 2.5 hours.
Maybe. Or he could just make it another 3-hour one. So yeah, I'm intrigued by this one, so look out for that on June 22nd. But, yeah, now we have to move on to something where I'm just kind of, like, bored to tears. And, yeah, so to any of the metalheads who are listening to this, who are probably not going to like what I'm about to say, all I can respond with is, fight me in the parking lot. So, this past week, there have been a lot of teaser drops from the camp of the perennial doom metal thorn in my side, Ghost. Perhaps most specifically, the reveal of the new frontman switching from the Papa Emeritus motif to Cornucopia. Is it still Tobias Forge? Like, actually playing the part? I'm not sure.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so there was also some leaks of a new song, presumably called Rats, and then we finally got the full release of the song called Rats, along with a music video and an album announcement. The group's follow-up to Meteora will be called Prequel, spelled like Quelle Kiss, and it's coming out...
Meteora is something else.
Prequelic.
Whatever. It's fucking Ghost. Who cares? And yeah, Prequelle is coming out right at the beginning of June 1st. And again, like, guys, I really try with this band. Like, I don't want to hate them. Like, there's no music artist I want to hate except for maybe XXX Tomato Sauce. But like, I'm trying to listen to this. I'm trying to get the appeal, but it's like, all I'm listening to the song, all I can think is, this kind of reminds me of like old Iron Maiden and Judas Priest records, which I could probably be listening to instead of this. The riffs are just like so basic on this thing. The song kind of has like this weirdly bouncy tempo to it that seems like it's trying to be more glam than anything else. Perhaps best emblemized, whatever the word I'm looking for, symbolized by the music video, where it's like, there's rats in like a diner, the streets are fucking desecrated to hell, it looks like a zombie movie, and fucking Cardinal's just like dancing like he's King Diamond trying to be Michael Jackson. And it's just like, I don't know, man, like, did his vocals get even more nasally than the last time I listened to this band? Because, man, this guy's voice is honestly kind of annoying as shit.
Well, I guess I'll have to be the complimentary one here because it's okay. There isn't really too much for me to get, upset or angry about. It's just, it's fine for what it is. It sort of goes in one ear, out the other. Sounds good to me. I can kind of dig it. It has a nice blend of the active rock feel with a little bit of the Swedish Gothic stuff sprinkled here and there. That video, though, it's giving me some strange dancing in the street vibes. I'm just waiting for Mick Jagger and David Bowie to show up, dancing, singing to each other with nothing around them and no music playing. It's weird. Also, as for this Mr. Copia persona, get rid of the mustache. Please get rid of that. You look like John Waters. You don't want to look like John Waters. And one more note here. The way he says rats in the chorus, it sounds a whole lot like Till Lindemann to me. Which actually makes you want to listen to some Rammstein right now.
Did you hear they're making a new album finally?
Oh, finally. Jeez.
Yeah. Jeez, the last time there was a new Rammstein album, I was in my freshman year of high school.
So what will come first? New Rammstein or new Tool?
New Tool, probably. Maybe. I mean, they're making progress at this point, so who knows? Anyway, yeah, that basically covers all the song discussion, and now that all the Ghost fans are adequately pissed off, we're gonna go on break, and when we come back, we got a few news topics to discuss here, so don't turn that dial, kids. There's no dial here. And we're back. So to start off the first of these news topics is yet another unfortunate realization that the musicians that we all loved throughout history are men, they are not gods, sadly. Whether it be from dementia, to tongue cancer, to being douchebags, everybody's got some baggage, clearly, or some shit that they have to work through. And unfortunately, that curse has struck Mr. Huey Lewis. No word about the "and" in the news part of that, but unfortunately, they have had to cancel all of their 2018 performances. In a statement posted to social media, Huey himself clarified that 2.5 months ago, before a show in Dallas, he had apparently lost his hearing. And rather severely, even visiting multiple, institutes and clinics, with the predominant answer being that he possibly has Meniere's disease and he can't really perform until his condition improves. As to hear him put it himself, although I could still hear a little, one-on-one and on the phone, I can't hear music well enough to sing. The lower frequencies distort violently, making it impossible to find pitch. Very sad.
Damn, man.
Protect your hearing, kids. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Forever. Or... yeah, forever.
Until scientists actually get through their shit long enough to actually, prevent it. Like, the second they discover the cure for cancer, right after that, they gotta dive into this shit. I want to be able to blast my death metal full blast at all times, and not wear earplugs, because fuck you, Mother Nature. But yes, obviously we wish all the best for Huey Lewis, and that his condition improves, and that taking time from touring will hopefully have some benefits in the long run for him. So now moving on from that to some good news. Some very good news. Some very unusual news when you actually look at it long enough.
Yeah.
So, once again, Mr. Kendrick Lamar. Now, we're obviously still very miffed that he did not bring home the Grammy for Album of the Year, with that instead going to Bruno Mars for 24 Karat Magic. But he actually did get the last laugh at the end of the day, because he actually won the Pulitzer Prize for music for his 2017 album, Damn. And of course, this is fairly significant. It's the first time in the history of the Pulitzer Prizes that the award has been given to something that wasn't classical or jazz music.
Mm-hmm.
Although you could argue that since Kendrick takes a lot of jazz influence, again, he's worked with guys like Kamasi Washington and Thundercat, maybe they saw that and it gave him a bit of leeway. Sort of in the same way that The Shape of Water had a lot of nods to the power of Hollywood magic, so it made them feel comfortable giving Best Picture to a movie about shagging a fish.
Yeah, because you go through this list of Pulitzer Prize winners for music, it's all just ballets and operas and jazz pieces and film scores and all sorts of stuff. So seeing Kendrick win this, that's a very welcome surprise.
That's a fucking game changer.
Yeah, who knows what's going to be next in this category. I mean, obviously they're probably just going to give it to, Kamasi Washington or something next year, but...
that'd be nice, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hip-hop is moving on up. I mean, remember, that last Clipping album was nominated for a Hugo Award.
Oh shit.
For, science fiction short-form narrative, I believe. And now we got Kendrick taking the Pulitzer. Who knows what's next? Maybe Vince Staples will start getting awards for shit. Which he probably should, because he's Vince Staples. He's fucking awesome. He needs more awards than just the Hot Ones Hall of Fame.
Although I think Philip DeFranco is going to be the top of the Hall of Fame now going forward, because damn, he did all that without taking one drop of milk.
The only other person I could think of that did that was Guy Fieri, the mayor of Flavortown. But yeah, obviously, congratulations to fucking Kendrick. This is why he is the GOAT, and it's like, what more does he have to do to get the fucking Grammy at this point? Anyway, moving on from that. Now, as we mentioned, this upcoming weekend is, of course, Record Store Day, where all the music dorks are lining up to buy their super cool vinyls that they'll probably play a couple times and then just put on the shelf again for collector's value for reasons.
Except me.
Yes, except Alex, because he's not going to be there, period. But speaking of vinyl, we have a story here that intersects at the exact sort of point of Alex's multiple interests, namely music technology and vinyl. Mm-hmm. And formats, of course. He loves himself some format analysis. So, want to go ahead and fill us in on what's going on here?
Sure. So, here's the headline for you. High definition vinyl is a real thing and could be in stores next year. This is based from an Austrian startup, Rebeat Innovation, that's looking to develop an extension of the vinyl format called high definition vinyl, which, working with a $4.8 million investment after previously filing for a patent in 2016, this will hopefully, if all goes well, be a format that will promise 30% longer playing time and 30% increased amplitude. Now, the idiosyncrasies of vinyl grooves are a very complicated topic to try and dissect. I can't even do it myself, so I'll just give some roundabout numbers. A standard 33 1/3 RPM vinyl record will hold about 24 minutes of music per side. Usually maximum. That's about as much as you can get in there without dealing with super high compression. Gram weight is also a big deal. 180 grams is usually the optimal weight of a vinyl record, which will bring in usually the best quality. Anything below that will obviously sound a little bit thinner.
Yep.
I want to see this in action. I want to see this in practice, this so-called HD vinyl. Now, according to this piece from Consequence of Sound, Rebeat has a $600,000 laser system that will use a 3D topographical map of a vinyl's grooves to, quote, cut a stamper into a ceramic plate, which is how you actually press the grooves onto the vinyl for, music purposes. This all sounds weird, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I want to know more. I want to see this in practice, because if this does work, if this does bring out better sound quality, not just on a freaking quality cruiser, but on an actual quality setup with a proper turntable, preamp, and amplifier and speakers, this could be a very interesting development in the decade-long resurgence of vinyl records. Because we already have the standard 180-gram vinyl releases, which are meant to be audiophile quality. If this can improve on that, that'll be a very interesting game changer, and I'm very curious to see how this will play out, or even if it plays out. They're saying summer 2019 will be the time frame for the first quote-unquote HD vinyl records. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens here.
Yeah, the way one of the things I was reading here in the piece as well is that apparently with the mapping technology they have in place, it'll be more precise in how it stamps the grooves, which means that there'll be less gaps and you can apparently cram more into a vinyl. So does this possibly mean that...
That's what I'm a bit sketchy about. Cramming more onto a vinyl doesn't always mean better sound quality, because when you have smaller grooves, you have more compression and a thinner sound, especially when you get into the innermost edges, when it's about to hit the runout edge. That's when it starts to sound really thin.
But, I mean, I'm curious as to how they do it. Like, are they really going to try, let's say, for the sake of argument, putting an entire album on one side of a vinyl? Because, I mean, that doesn't seem feasible, because, like, I know Zap on Oranges, but, like, even when, like, DVD started making the jump from DVD to Blu-ray, even stuff like anime still has to be released on, like, you can't just fit an entire season on one Blu-ray disc. You got to spread that stuff out. There's only so much you can put in there before the quality just starts to diminish.
That's why you have to take compression into account. Like I said, 24 minutes is usually the optimal maximum amount of time you can put on one side of a vinyl record. So if it's going to be 30% longer than that, that'll give you maybe 32 minutes maximum. That would be all of a standard 30-minute album. But you have to take into consideration compression. Because if you have X amount of songs on one side all crammed in there, it might not sound super refined. But again, this is something we need to see in practice. We need to see this in motion. We need to see a working example of this just to get a better idea of how this will work.
And then we could see, like, what's the possibility of it impacting the collector market at all? Like, will this be the thing that, like, I guess if it catches on, killing regular vinyl for HD vinyl in the same way that everyone buys, like, again, Blu-rays instead of DVDs?
I don't think it'll kill off the regular vinyl market because they do offer some albums are offered in quote unquote audiophile master recording vinyl, which comes with a premium price, but it's a very niche market within a niche market, so it probably wouldn't diminish the whole market, upon release.
Yeah, probably not. But whatever, these things I guess take time. And, speaking of taking their time, another thing that, moving on to the next topic, another thing that's going to be happening in 2019, the next major development that we know of in the ongoing saga of the Fyre Festival, aka the Black Clover of music festivals. Anyway, so at last we mentioned a few, however many episodes it was ago, there are, of course, the court proceedings going on in place where, of course, founder Billy McFarland has to pay back all the money he owes to the investors that he defrauded. But maybe we'll get to find out a bit more about this in detail because Hulu has announced that they're working on a documentary series about the Fyre Festival. Apparently, the project is set for 2019, and while it's currently untitled, what we know is that it gathers a lot of stuff. It's going to have hours of never-before-seen footage, emails, recordings, leaked documents, and also in-depth interviews with everyone they could, find. The local Bahamians, the vendors who worked the event, the bastards that were giving them, bread, salad, and cheese. Packaged American cheese. The actual investors in the event, which, oh man, that's going to be a fun one. Could you imagine they're reading like, well, I thought it was a good deal at the time, just exploiting all these rich yuppie bastards for their cash, but like, I wasn't making that money back, you bastards. And then, of course, even the stranded festival goers, it's going to be, so it's, of course, produced by Cinemart, Hulu, Billboard, and Mike. The one music publication, but man, we have to wait until 2019. I want to find out all the good stuff now. Oh my god, I just realized. Remember the one guy who infamously said, "Let's just do it and be legends, man"?
Well,
please tell me there's an audio tape of that. I need that as a ringtone. I just need it, man. I need to know these things.
Welcome to Fyre Festival. Here's your craft single.
What if put a dog that might bite your ass later on?
Yes, those are the dogs that are apparently not good dogs. It's the Isle of Dogs, so to speak, except it's not Japanese.
It's the remake.
Clearly. But yeah, man, I don't want to wait, and I need to find out these things. I need my entertaining Schadenfreude in however long this is going to take. Seriously, who knows how long this will be, but I assume it's going to be, like, the second it comes out, you damn well bet we're all jumping on this shit. And maybe by that point, Spotify and Hulu will actually release a joint subscription that includes ad-free Hulu, which is the reason why I haven't switched over to that combo subscription yet. Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, let's move on from that to our last story this week. A man who's been popping up back again on the internets, bustling with activity, Mr. Kanye West. He recently gave an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and during their lengthy conversation about all kinds of topics, apparently Mr. Kanye has revealed that he's working on a philosophy book of sorts. Now, here are quotes from Yeezy himself. I've got this new concept that I've been digging into. I'm writing a philosophy book right now called Breaking the Simulation. I've got a concept about photographs, and I'm on the fence about photographs, about human beings being obsessed with photographs, because it takes you out of the now and transports you into the past or transports you into the future. It can be used to document, but a lot of times it overtakes people. Which to me just sounds like he's getting really butthurt about concert photographers and people with their cell phones.
Does this feature Nickelback? Because keep on hearing photographs a lot.
And what the hell is on Joey's head? So
we
I mean,
the
if
life
you
of Pablo, now we have the Tao of Jesus.
yeah, I can't wait to hear him write all about photos and get all philosophical. It'll be like that, opening part of Kingdom Hearts 2 when they were all getting their stolen. Wait, oh no, they didn't just steal, they also stole the word. That'll make sense for all you Kingdom Hearts 2 fans out there. People who actually play the games and don't suck at them.
Middle fingers. Up in the air.
Wherever you say, Popico. But yeah, this is, just to throw in another quote here, he mentioned that he'd been dealing with a very heavy concept that he couldn't get out of his head, which was revealed to be, Virgil Abloh's appointment as the head of Louis Vuitton. Just some fashion stuff, whatever. Yeah, there's all that stuff. But yeah, Kanye West philosophy book. I hope it reads exactly like his Twitter account. Which is basically just drill, except it's coming from a real person. I don't really have any more jokes here, I think. But they all write themselves, essentially.
Oh, and he also got this last line where he... We talk about his success found with Yeezy line, and D is like, we do these sneakers that sell out and we get, this is #1 brand on women's, they're really, and he says, I don't wish to be #1 anymore, I wish to be water. Wait, what?
What?
But you're made of water. You're 60% water.
70%.
Or whatever, we're all water.
Yes. Dude, that's like deep as fuck. You should write a philosophy book about it.
Kanye West being interested in water. Nah, the gay fish jokes stopped being funny years ago.
Yes, it did.
Let's see, something ugly God reference something. I got nothing.
Oh yeah, fucking old bitch like water. Or something. Whatever, who cares about Ugly God? He's ugly. But yeah, obviously look forward to that on the same shelf where Chris Stuckman's latest book is probably not going to be if it's still selling as well as I hear it is.
I couldn't find that book anywhere today. Like, no Barnes & Noble, no Books A Million. It's backordered on Amazon.
Oh, wow. Even Amazon. Damn.
Yeah. Although I did pick up The Disaster Artist today. Now I finally have a book copy of it.
Nice. Yeah, Chris seems like a really popular guy. Good to know. But anyway, that does it for the news topics. And now we have one more thing to take care of, and that's the new album releases for the week of April 20th, 2018, aka the things you'll hopefully get to have some money to spend on, assuming you haven't purchased both Nintendo Labo and God of War.
Or weed.
Or, vinyls, if you're not saving for those. So, starting right at the top, some band called Striper, who I guess is still around, got a new album called God Damn Evil.
Christian metal. Ugh.
Wait, what? Okay.
The
Christian
latest
hair
release,
metal. Yeah.
Anyway, the latest release from the Melvins with Pinkest Abortion Technician. A new album from punk rock veterans Pennywise with Never Gonna Die.
Oh, that's the clown.
Yes, the clown. A new album from rapper Denmark Vesey with Sun Go Nova. newest album from Thievery Corporation with Treasure from the Temple. After a delay from a couple months, Kimbra is finally coming out with Primal Heart. Apparently now we're finally getting that Sting and Shaggy collaboration 44/876. The newest album from the gentiest gent that ever gented, Tesseract with Sonder.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, the grand return of A Perfect Circle with Eat the Elephant.
Double yeah.
So that'll just about do it for this week. So now we got a clean house to get the hell out of here. Alex, where can they find you on the internet?
As always, or of Azure, everywhere on the internet, where you can see me just doing whatever it is I do. It may involve the Fibonacci method. Lateralis. Mark,
what about you?
Of course, on my Twitter at Max Habit Media, and on my site, the Habit One at thehabit1.wordpress.com. Something might happen this week. I don't know. I ain't been doing shit since then. Yeah.
Anyway, as for me, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, CuriousCat, at RobBarracuda. Email me, robert@surrealresolution.com for all questions, comments, inquiries, collabs, mixtapes, SoundCloud, whatever. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Google Play and iTunes. New audio-only episodes go up every Wednesday. Video usually goes up by the weekend on the official YouTube channel of Surreal Resolution. Just search that name, subscribe, hit the bell tap so you're notified when new episodes of the podcast go up. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SurrealRezo, like us on Facebook, find us on the website surrealresolution.com, and of course the podcast on decibelboost.surrealresolution.com. Of course, be sure to listen to Podcast O&A if you need anime content in podcast form.
Hear, hear.
Be sure to keep up with our written content. Of course, finally getting into the swing of the new anime season with Hinamatsuri and Persona 5 write-ups. And of course, Mark's latest album review of the new Flatbush Zombies record, Vacation in Hell.
Yeah, it's actually a good record despite it being long as fuck.
And I still need to do my review of the new Wrong record. I got caught up with stuff, obviously, so I couldn't get that out before Friday. Sorry.
I might even have a review of a new Tesseract album as well.
Possibly, yes. We shall see. Be sure to jump into our Discord chat so you can dank it up with us as we document internet drama. Wow, that shit got so much worse than I thought it would. Damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stop being funny.
And, of course, shout out to the producer, Mr. E, for graciously letting me use his music for this podcast. Links to his shit down in the description. Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same place. And until then, motherfucking Baja Blast, bitches!
Woo!
Drink!
Hold up.
Left the jag and I took the roll. They cutting and I put them on foot patrol.